Hello friends, welcome to YouTube channel Electronics. In this video, we will learn the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. Electronic devices makes our life easier by automation of tasks, reducing manual efforts and enhancing efficiency. What makes them to work like this? For example, if you open your laptop, you will find an electronic circuit inside it. If we analyze this electronic circuit, we can find numerous electronic components like IC chips, inductors, capacitors and etc. All these IC chips works together and communicates with each other to make this electronic circuit functional. In electronic circuits, the two most important integrated circuit chips are microprocessor and microcontroller. The primary function of both microprocessor and microcontroller is to automate the process in electronic devices such as computers, laptops, washing machines and etc. There are various similarities between them as they perform relatively the same task, but they are different in many aspects. They are different in terms of their internal construction or integration. They are different in terms of applications in which they are used. They are different in terms of their processing power or complexity. They are different in terms of their cost, and also they are different in terms of power consumption. So today we will discuss the difference between them. First one, integration. Microprocessor can be defined as the heart of a computer system, and microcontrollers can be defined as the heart of an embedded system. Microprocessor is the most crucial component of a computer or any other computing device. In computers, the microprocessor is used as the CPU. So microprocessor is a central processing unit where it is required to connect input devices like keyboard and mouse and output devices like monitor and printer. Microprocessors do not have memory. Hence, they require external memory devices like RAM, ROM and hard disk to provide program and data storage. It is also required to connect external timer and serial interface for the proper processing function. Hence, after observing this block diagram of a computer system, we can say that microprocessor contains only a processing unit. To make use of this microprocessor, one need to connect extra hardware units such as memory and I/O devices. So the microprocessor can be defined as the heart of a computer system. On the other hand, microcontrollers can be defined as the heart of an embedded system. If we observe the internal structure of a microcontroller IC, it consists of a processing element, a small memory, RAM, ROM and EEPROM to store program, and various peripherals such as I/O ports and timers all in a single chip. So the microcontroller is a compact integrated circuit which includes a processor, memory and I/O peripherals on a single chip. This is the integrational difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. Microprocessors require external components for memory and interfacing, whereas in microcontrollers, memory and I/O components are embedded. Now let's see the difference between them in terms of their applications. Microprocessors are general purpose processors used in wide range of applications. Hence, there is no particular predefined task is required for them. On the other hand, microcontrollers are designed to perform a particular predefined task. The basic example of a microprocessor application is the CPU of a personal computer or laptop. So using a laptop, we can do many things, like we can use it for gaming, watching and recording videos and music, web browsing, simulations, mathematical calculations and etc. So the microprocessor is basically used for the applications where the task is not predefined. It depends on the user. On the other hand, microcontrollers are used for specific predefined tasks. A microcontroller works based on the inputs, whether it is getting from either sensors or manual input from the keyboard or touch panel. It does some processing and it gives the result as an output. Some examples of the microcontroller application are microwave oven, refrigerator, washing machine and etc. Here if you observe all these devices, the task which they are performing is predefined. For example, in a microwave oven, once you set the power and timing using the touch panel, it cooks the food which you required. Next, we will see the difference in terms of their complexity or how much powerful they are. Microprocessors are powerful and capable of running complex operating systems. They also capable of handling complex computational tasks. On the other hand, microcontrollers are simpler and less powerful than microprocessors. Microprocessors are powerful and complex. It is because they can capable in handling external timers and memory devices. Due to this, they can run on higher clock speeds. With this, their speed of operation or processing increases. Also, we can increase their memory size so they can have larger memory capacity. Modern microprocessors operates in gigahertz clock speed. This allows them to perform complex mathematical calculations faster. Microcontrollers are simpler and less powerful than microprocessors. It is because they have internal memory and timer. Due to this, they runs on lower clock speeds in terms of some megahertz and they have limited storage space in terms of some MBs. So their processing capability and speed is much lesser than microprocessors. Hence they have fewer computational capabilities. The common peripheral interfaces in the microprocessors are USB 3.0 and high speed or gigabit Ethernet. While in case of microcontrollers, the common peripheral interfaces are SPI, I2C and UART. The modern day microprocessors are either 32-bit or 64-bit. A 64-bit microprocessor means it is the ability of the microprocessor to handle 64-bit data at once. On the other hand, modern day microcontrollers are either 8 bits, 16 bits or 32 bits. So the amount of data that can be handled by a microprocessor in single cycle is higher than the microcontroller. Now let's see the difference between them in terms of cost efficiency. As we know that microprocessor based system requires additional components. In contrast, a microcontroller based system is self-sufficient. These additional components requirements of microprocessor based system increase their overall system cost. On the other hand, microcontroller based system is self-sufficient. It requires no additional components, which results in cheaper microcontroller based system. Hence, it is clear that the microprocessor based system is more expensive than microcontroller based system. A final point to consider is power consumption. Microprocessors consumes more power than microcontrollers. Microcontrollers have power saving features which microprocessors lack. Microprocessor based system consumes more power because of the large number of additional components. Each and every component connected to the microprocessor based system consumes some power. So the total power consumption becomes higher. Here in this table, I have summarized the power consumption of additional components in the microprocessor based system. Microprocessors often runs at a higher speed and have greater computational capabilities than microcontrollers. Hence, the microprocessors consumes more power and often requires external power supply. On the other hand, microcontrollers doesn't have additional components and have fewer or limited computational capabilities. So, they require less power. Moreover, most microcontrollers have power saving features. For example, microcontrollers can activate the power saving modes, sleep and standby modes when not processing data, and can turn off internal peripherals not in use to save power. This makes microcontrollers are ideal for low power applications. A typical microcontroller consumes approximately 100 milliwatts. Finally, I have summarized the differences between microprocessor and microcontroller based on the various parameters discussed in this video. You can download this table by clicking on the link given in the description. That's all about the differences between microprocessor and microcontroller. If you have learned from this video, please do mention them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button. Help others to learn by sharing this video. Please subscribe and turn on notifications for more such videos. Have a nice day.